Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Quantum Soul.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Today, we're diving into some really thought-provoking material you sent us about the mirror principle.
Yeah.
This idea that our inner world shapes our experiences, like in really concrete ways.
It's fascinating, isn't it? It's a concept that, has resonated across cultures and throughout history.
Right.
You see echoes of it in, ancient wisdom traditions, modern psychology, even quantum physics.
Okay, so before we get too far ahead,
Sure.
let's define this mirror principle precisely. What exactly does it mean?
Right.
And where does the idea come from?
Okay, well, the source material defines it as the interconnectedness of our internal reality, our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, that whole inner world, and our external reality, the events, circumstances, and relationships we experience. It suggests that what we hold true within ourselves is reflected back in the world around us.
So it's not just about positive thinking.
No.
It's like recognizing a deeper connection.
Right.
Between our inner world and our outer world.
Exactly. And the sources trace this idea back to ancient philosophical and spiritual traditions, including Hermeticism, which has a core principle: as above, so below, as within, so without.
Wow.
This suggests a fundamental correspondence between the microcosm of the individual and the macrocosm of the universe.
That's fascinating. So this concept has deep roots.
Yeah.
But how does it actually play out in our lives?
Well, the source material offers a compelling example. Let's say you harbor a deep-seated belief that you're not worthy of love.
Okay.
This belief might unconsciously lead you to sabotage relationships or choose partners who reinforce that belief. The mirror, so to speak, is reflecting back your own internal conviction.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's like we're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy
Right.
based on our internal beliefs.
Precisely. And the source material goes on to outline 4 key elements for understanding and utilizing the mirror principle to shape our reality.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's unpack those 4 keys. Where do we even begin?
Well, the first key is recognizing that we can't manipulate the reflection directly. It's not about forcing the world to conform to our desires.
Right.
It's about shifting the image we're projecting.
So instead of trying to change the mirror,
Yeah.
we need to change what's standing in front of it.
Exactly. The source material uses the analogy of influencing someone.
Right.
Gentle encouragement and genuine connection are far more effective than forceful commands.
That's a powerful analogy. So how do we apply this to our relationship with reality?
The second key is understanding that our identity and worldview are like the lens through which we perceive reality. If our lens is distorted by limiting beliefs and negative self-perceptions, the world will reflect those distortions back to us.
So if we want to experience a different reality,
Yeah.
we need to shift our internal lens.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The source material emphasizes the importance of visualizing our ideal future selves in vivid detail.
Yeah.
Who do we want to be? What qualities do we want to embody? What kind of life do we want to create?
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts.
Right.
It's about creating a clear and compelling vision
Exactly.
of our desired reality.
And this is where the third key comes in: the power of affirmations.
Okay.
The source material argues that by consistently repeating affirmations that align with our desired image, we can start to reprogram our subconscious mind and shift our internal lens.
So it's about consciously choosing the thoughts and beliefs we want to cultivate, rather than letting our old limiting beliefs, run the show.
Yes. The source material uses a powerful analogy here.
Okay.
It suggests that we're like alchemists, transforming the lead of our negative beliefs into the gold of a more empowered and fulfilling reality.
That's a beautiful analogy.
Thank you.
But I imagine this transformation takes time.
You're absolutely right. And that brings us to the fourth key: the understanding that there is a delay between our inner shifts and their manifestation in the outer world.
Okay.
The material world is denser, slower to change
Right.
than our thoughts and beliefs.
So we might not see changes overnight.
Right.
Even if we're doing the inner work.
Yeah.
This is where patience comes in, right?
Absolutely. The source material compares it to planting a seed.
Oh, okay.
We need to nurture the seed, water it, give it sunlight, and trust that it will eventually sprout and grow into a magnificent plant.
But we can't force the seed to grow faster.
Right.
We have to respect the natural timing of the process.
Exactly. And the same applies to the mirror principle. We need to be patient, persistent, and trust that the changes we're making internally will eventually be reflected back to us in our external reality.
This is a fascinating exploration of how our inner world shapes our experiences.
It is.
But before we delve deeper into the practical applications of the mirror principle,
Okay.
I want to remind our listeners that we've only just begun to unpack this complex and nuanced concept. We want to remind you to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the mirror principle. We've, laid the groundwork exploring its historical roots and the 4 key elements for understanding how our inner world shapes our reality.
Now, I'm eager to explore how this plays out in everyday life.
Okay.
The source material mentions a mirror cycle. Can you unpack that concept for us?
Certainly. The mirror cycle describes how our initial perceptions and reactions can create a feedback loop, either reinforcing positive or negative patterns.
So is it kind of like those house of mirrors at a carnival where your reflection gets repeated endlessly?
Yeah, that's a vivid analogy. The source material explains it this way. We observe our reality,
Right.
and often our initial reaction is judgment, either positive or negative.
Right.
That judgment shapes our emotions and actions,
Okay.
which in turn influence the reality we experience. This then feeds back into our observation, potentially creating a self-perpetuating cycle.
Okay, so how do we break free from a negative mirror cycle? It sounds like it could easily spiral out of control.
It can. The source material suggests a 2-pronged approach.
Okay.
Firstly, it emphasizes cultivating awareness of our habitual reactions. For instance, if your default response to challenges is pessimism,
Right.
becoming conscious of that pattern is the first step to changing it.
So instead of mindlessly reacting, we need to step back
Yes.
and observe our thought patterns and emotional responses.
Precisely. The second part of the solution involves consciously shifting our focus.
Okay.
Instead of dwelling on what we lack or what's wrong, the source material encourages us to deliberately seek out evidence that confirms our desired reality.
So if I'm trying to cultivate more confidence, I should focus on moments where I feel, even a glimmer of self-assurance rather than dwelling on times when I felt insecure.
Exactly. The source material calls this confirming evidence.
Okay.
By actively seeking it out, we start to feed a positive feedback loop,
Right.
gradually weakening the hold of the negative cycle.
This reminds me of the concept of cognitive reframing.
Oh, yeah.
In cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Yeah.
It's about consciously choosing a more helpful and empowering interpretation of a situation.
That's a great connection. The source material doesn't explicitly mention CBT, but the underlying principle is similar. It's about taking control of our mental narrative rather than letting it run on autopilot.
So we're not just passively observing the reflection.
Right.
We're actively choosing what we want to see and then shaping our reality accordingly.
Exactly.
But what about those times when life throws us curveballs? How do we stay positive and maintain momentum when things get tough?
That's where the power of the chosen image comes in.
Okay.
Remember, we discussed the importance of visualizing our ideal selves and desired reality.
Right.
The source material suggests that in challenging moments, we need to consciously reconnect with that vision.
So it's like having an anchor in a stormy sea. We can hold on to that image of our desired outcome even when the waves are crashing around us.
That's a powerful image. The source material emphasizes that by consistently reminding ourselves of our chosen image, we can prevent temporary setbacks from derailing our progress.
Okay, so we're cultivating awareness, shifting our focus, and holding on to our chosen image.
Yeah.
But isn't there a danger of falling into toxic positivity?
Right.
What about acknowledging the, very real difficulties and challenges in life?
That's a crucial point. The mirror principle is not about denying negativity or pretending everything is perfect.
Right.
It's about recognizing that we have a choice in how we respond to challenges.
Okay.
The source material differentiates between healthy optimism and blind denial.
So it's not about ignoring the negative.
No.
It's about choosing a more empowering perspective.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that challenges are inevitable,
Right.
but they don't have to define us.
Okay.
We can choose to see them as opportunities for growth,
Yeah.
learning, and resilience.
This reframes the idea of positive thinking in a more nuanced and realistic way. It's not about denying reality, but about choosing a perspective that empowers us to move forward.
Right.
But isn't this whole process incredibly difficult?
Well,
Doesn't it require a tremendous amount of willpower and self-discipline?
the source material acknowledges the challenges,
Okay.
but emphasizes that this isn't about brute force or constant vigilance.
Right.
It's about gradually shifting our habitual patterns of
Yeah.
thinking and reacting.
Mm-hmm.
It uses the analogy of a river carving a new path.
Okay.
It takes time, consistency, and a gentle but persistent redirection of energy.
That's a reassuring analogy.
It is.
It suggests that we don't have to be perfect.
Right.
We just need to be consistent in our efforts to redirect our thoughts and actions towards our desired outcome.
Exactly. And as we practice this,
Yeah.
the source material suggests it becomes more and more effortless.
Okay.
The new patterns of thinking and reacting become ingrained,
Right.
and the positive feedback loops become stronger.
This reminds me of the concept of neuroplasticity.
Oh, yeah.
The brain's ability to change and adapt throughout our lives.
Right.
By consciously choosing our thoughts and actions.
Yeah.
We're actually rewiring our brains to support our desired reality.
That's a fascinating connection. The source material delves into the neuroscience behind this,
Wow.
explaining how repeated thoughts and behaviors create neural pathways.
Okay.
By consciously choosing positive and empowering thoughts and actions,
Right.
we're strengthening those pathways, making it easier to access those states in the future.
So it's not just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
There's a real biological basis for the idea that we can shape our reality through our thoughts and actions.
Absolutely. And the more we understand about how our minds work,
Right.
the more empowered we become to consciously create the life we desire.
This is such a rich and fascinating exploration of the mirror principle.
It is.
I'm eager to hear more about the practical applications of this concept in our everyday lives.
Okay.
But before we dive into that, we want to remind you to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends, where we'll explore specific techniques and strategies for harnessing the power of the mirror principle to create lasting change. Welcome back to our deep dive into the mirror principle. We've explored the concept, in depth, from its historical roots to the mirror cycle. Now let's get down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
How can we use this knowledge to create, tangible change in our lives?
Well, the source material emphasizes that applying the mirror principle is an ongoing process, not a quick fix.
Right.
It requires a commitment to self-awareness and a willingness to challenge those, deeply ingrained patterns.
So where should we begin? Are there specific practices or techniques we can use to harness this principle?
The sources offer a range of practical suggestions.
Okay.
One that stands out is the practice of mirror work.
Okay.
Which involves consciously using a mirror to observe and interact with our reflection.
Okay, so I'm picturing someone standing in front of the bathroom mirror having a conversation with themselves.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
Well, the source material suggests that looking into our own eyes can help us access deeper levels of self-awareness.
Okay.
It can reveal subtle expressions, micro movements, and energy shifts that we might not notice otherwise.
So it's about becoming more attuned to our nonverbal communication.
Yeah.
To those, subtler layers of our inner world.
Exactly. And the practice goes beyond just observation.
Okay.
The source material encourages us to use affirmations, visualizations, and even dialogue with our reflection to shift our internal state.
So it's about actively engaging with the mirror as a tool for transformation.
Right.
Not just using it to check our appearance.
Precisely. The source material suggests that this practice can help us build a stronger connection with ourselves.
Okay.
Cultivate self-compassion, and challenge limiting beliefs that might be holding us back.
That's fascinating. So mirror work is one technique.
Yeah.
Are there others?
Another powerful practice the source material highlights is journaling.
Okay.
It suggests using journaling not just to record events, but to explore our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs in a deeper way.
So it's not just a diary of what we did.
Right.
It's a tool for self-reflection and self-discovery.
Exactly. The source material recommends specific journaling prompts designed to uncover limiting beliefs, identify recurring patterns, and explore alternative perspectives.
For example, what kind of prompts would be helpful?
One prompt the source material suggests is, what are 3 beliefs that might be holding me back from achieving my goals?
Okay.
By writing freely about this prompt, we might uncover subconscious beliefs that are operating beneath the surface.
Okay, yeah, I can see how that would be insightful.
Right.
It's about bringing those hidden beliefs into the light of awareness where we can start to challenge and reframe them.
Precisely. Another journaling prompt the source material suggests is, if I could wave a magic wand and instantly manifest my ideal reality, what would it look like? This encourages us to tap into our desires and create a vivid vision of what we want to create.
So we're using journaling to both, dismantle the negative and build up the positive.
Yeah.
Exploring both our limiting beliefs and our deepest desires.
Exactly. And the source material emphasizes that consistency is key here.
Right.
It's not about writing in our journal once a month.
Yeah.
It's about making it a regular practice, a space where we can engage in ongoing self-reflection and transformation.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I imagine it can be challenging to maintain that consistency.
It can be.
What are some tips for making journaling a sustainable practice?
The source material recommends finding a time and place where we can write without distractions.
Okay.
It also suggests setting realistic goals, even if it's just 5 minutes a day.
Right.
The key is to make it a habit, something we look forward to rather than a chore we dread.
That's helpful advice. So we've talked about mirror work and journaling.
Yeah.
Are there other practices the source material suggests for applying the mirror principle.
Another powerful tool the source material highlights is the power of visualization.
Okay.
It suggests creating a detailed mental picture of our desired reality,
Right.
engaging all of our senses to make it as vivid and real as possible.
So it's not just about vaguely wishing for something.
No.
It's about creating a multi-sensory experience in our minds.
Right.
Almost like we're already, living in that desired reality.
Exactly. The source material draws upon research in neuroscience and sports psychology, which demonstrates that visualization can actually rewire our brains and improve our performance.
So by consistently visualizing ourselves succeeding,
Yeah.
we're actually training our minds to make it more likely to happen in real life.
Precisely. The source material suggests that by combining visualization with affirmations and emotional engagement, we can amplify its effectiveness.
So it's about not just seeing it, but feeling it, believing it, and aligning our energy with that desired outcome.
Exactly. The source material emphasizes that visualization is most effective when we engage our emotions and embody the feelings associated with our desired reality.
This has been such an insightful exploration of the mirror principle and its practical applications.
It has.
We've learned about mirror work, journaling, visualization, and the importance of consistency and emotional engagement.
It's been a fascinating journey. Remember, applying the mirror principle is an ongoing process of self-discovery and transformation.
Right.
Be patient with yourself, experiment with these techniques, and trust that by consciously shaping your inner world, you can create a more fulfilling and meaningful reality.
Thank you for guiding us through this deep dive. I'm sure our listeners will find these insights invaluable.
My pleasure.
Remember, dear listener, the power to shape your reality lies within you.
It does.
Embrace the mirror principle and watch as your world reflects back the beauty and brilliance you cultivate within a year. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video
Yes.
with anyone who might be interested in these hidden wonders of the universe.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yeah,
and keep expanding your awareness.
that's it.
There are 2 videos on your screen. Click one to continue your journey.